Hi, Queens. Sam here. I hope that you're doing amazing. Listen, I just finished chatting with Dani on Naturally LID on her YouTube channel, and I thought of recording this video because we touched a little bit on it in her, while I was chatting with her. But I really felt like it was a good opportunity for me to sit right after we were done and actually record this video as being my video number 21 of this 30 in 30 challenge. So first thing first, if you haven't checked my discussion with Dani, please go ahead and check on her channel. I put a link to the video in the description below this video so you guys can check it out. We talked about essentially me helping Black women becoming financially free. And she's doing a series this month, which is Black woman making history. And I happen to be her first guest for that series. So very humble, very uh, honored by the opportunity. And if you guys look at the lineup of the Black woman coming on her channel for that particular series, you will see why I feel quite honored and humble to that she actually asked me to be part of this series. So go ahead and check that out. And just to confirm that I'm literally recording on the same day, as you can see, I have the same makeup, same earrings. I did loosen the head wrap. It's been a while that I haven't wrapped my head, and after we were done, I just like my head needs to breathe. So luckily, I was about to do something with my hair. But listen, all of that, just put it aside. I'm coming here to share with you today my three biggest investment mistakes. And this is going to be about me confessing to you on the losses that I've made investing. And this is something that I am open about, chatting with my customers because some of them do ask me if I have ever lost money investing. And the answer is yes, I did. I have lost money investing, and guess what? Probably I'm still gonna be losing money investing because it's part of the journey. That's just what it is. While you were trying, you started walking. You didn't, just like stand on your feet and started walking all at once. You practiced for a few days and eventually you got it. Same thing like anything we learn in this life and we actually try to be better at, we're going to be making mistakes. So, one thing that I really want for you to keep in mind is it doesn't matter what are the mistakes that you have made, as long as you know that did not cost you your entire retirement fund or whatnot. You have to take that as a data and then go back and continue doing what you've been doing, which is investing. You'll learn from it and then you just go back and doing it because the proof is in the pudding. We know that by investing consistently over a long period of time, we are going to be having a nice nest egg, thanks to compound interest. So this is a video, I'm gonna be quite vulnerable with you guys in, on terms of those investment mistakes that I've made and, how much it really cost me in total. The first investment mistake that I've made, which I consider one of the biggest one, is that I invested based on what people that I thought I knew more about investing, who were calling themselves influencers or some sort of like um, image financial guru to follow. I i fell for all of that in terms of what are the, let's say, what are the holdings that they were recommending. One of those holding, I decided to go big on it. I'm not going to name that particular holding that I'm talking about, but I decided to go big on it based on that particular person talking about it and be so strong about it and saying, this is a company that's going to go to the moon, and because of this and because of that. And I knew better. I should have done my homework and then really do my due diligence, go pick up. It was a startup, so there were not many financial statement per se, but still, um, go and find as many documentation I could find on the company to understand better the business model, where they were going, and see if the numbers made sense. I did a bit of that, but I didn't do it properly the way I usually do it before buying, especially a single stock, a single company stock. And so I went all in, not all in, but I invested quite a bit of money. In total, I invested $40,000 into that particular stock, and it flopped. It flopped. It flopped, and so I lost a good chunk of the money. To be quite honest, we can consider it the total 40,000 at this point. And I realized that all of those people out there pushing a particular asset, a particular holding, like specific, not just saying you need to invest in stock, but they're saying you have to invest in this particular stock. They have their own agenda. Okay? They have their own agenda. And so you need to be really mindful if you want to be listening to any financial guru or financial influencer telling you to invest in a particular single stock, and ask yourself what is in what exactly is in it for them, right? Because I know for that particular person that I was following, who was really hard on, like, recommending that particular holding, they did not lose anything, because guess what? They sold when the holding was near the top. And unfortunately for people like me, who were more of a long-term investor, not so much of a trader, trading in a very short period of time, we were left, as they say, handing the bag, at the end of the day, and essentially getting the losses, because the other people were able to go in quickly and then get out quickly as well. So my mind doesn't do that kind of game. I've tried trading a little bit, and that's something that I'm interested in. But when it comes to building wealth, you don't do that using, trading. You do that using investing. So the way you approach the two concepts is quite different. So that was my first biggest investment mistake, which was essentially listening to financial gurus or financial influencer and not doing my due diligence. The second biggest investment mistake that I made was cashing out my retirement fund when I left my first employer. That's a big no, no, no. So what happened is, after like 6 years working for the same employer, I changed employer. And so they said, I think at that point it was less than 10,000. You have like 10,000 invested here. You could keep it here, and then when you retire, you will have you can withdraw this amount of money, or you can essentially cash out everything. And honestly, I did not need that money. I did not need it. It's not like I was in a dire need of having anything. So I could have left that money in there, and just, like, use it when I needed it at retirement, because that would have been a couple of 100,000, right? That's a lot of money. But in my mind, I was just seeing 10,000, and for me, it was just like, oh, why do I need to essentially leave that money there for when I retire in like 40, 45 years? Why would I do that? So I cash out the money. I had to pay taxes, and I got the money, and I cannot tell you today what I did with that money. I cannot tell you. But then, as I was going through my financial journey and getting more and more educated, then I crunched the numbers, and I'm like, if I had, kept this thing in where it was and let it grow, oh my God, how much would that have been at year 60 or 65 of age? And that's where I figured out that it would have been, close to 250,000. That's nice. I know, it's not inflation adjusted, but that would have been a nice addition to my retirement nest egg, to have an additional 250,000, just letting that money sit there for 40, 45 years. So again, I cannot tell you today what I did with that money. I had no reason for cashing that money. I had no excuse for cashing. I just cashed it because I was just like, oh, you know, I'm retiring in 40, 45 years. Let me have the money now, right? But again, I should have just left it in there. So that was the second biggest investment mistake that I made. The third biggest investment mistake that I made was right in the pandemic. I was I was owning a particular holding which I like and I trusted. And so when the pandemic happened, right after everything went, the market dropped 20% or something, everything started coming back again. And that particular holding went to a level that I was kind of like skeptical about. I'm like, this thing is a good, solid asset. but not to that level. Something is happening. And I should have recognized then that it's just the market, people, the frenzy, happening in the market. But I got so excited. I'm like, oh my God, this is at a level that I would have never thought it could get, at least not so soon. And instead of just deciding to ride the wave, because at the end of the day, I was in for the long game even before the pandemic happened, I decided to sell the asset and cash the money because to me it was at a level I'm like, it cannot go more than this. Come on. Guess what happened after Homegirl just cashed the investment? Well, it continued to rise up and up again. And I was just like sitting there on the sideline and be like, oh my God, this thing is still going up. And it continued going up and it actually stabilized around probably two times how much I sold it for up until now. Up until now. And the worst is I actually believe in that company. And so because I believe in that company, for me that was a long-term game. I went back in at one point to buy the stock again. So I still own that stock. But when you look at the average cost for that stock for me right now, it's much higher than if I would have just let the stock do whatever it was supposed to do and keep it. And I know that company will continue to rise. That's why I went back in. But I had no business in selling that stock to start with. Even if it got to a level that I was like, oh my God, that was I'm seeing this stock getting to this level, but not so soon, right? So again, when you look at it, it's a lot of money that I've left on the table with those mistakes, and those are the one that I could say are the three biggest one. That means that I've made other investment mistakes, but those are really the one that I feel like really cost me big in terms of money. But guess what? I learned a ton from it. And despite making, all of those mistakes, I was still able to, reach Coast Fi, which I've shared in another video here last year, which means that essentially my retirement is already funded for. And I'm not even taking into consideration my real estate equity, my pension, or any government benefits that probably I'm going to be having around age 60, 65, right? So despite making those big mistakes and for me losing quite a chunk of money, I still made a lot of great moves when it comes to investing. And so when I tell some of my customers that, they have their eyes like this, they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, it's part of the journey. And that's what is keeping so many Black women getting to investing because they don't want to make mistakes. They don't want to lose money. But we need to change that. And it's totally feasible. It is totally feasible. Okay. So I'm sure you're all gonna jump in the comments and ask more questions and whatnot. I'm happy to talk about this. I'll be sharing as much as I can in the open forum. But yeah, so I really want to share this because I feel like it was good timing right after Danny's live. So you guys will be able to have a follow up on this. We talked about it a little bit in a session, but I wanted to expand in this video. So again, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. Next week, like I say, I'm going back to work. So I'm not sure what will be. I hope that I can maintain this until February 12th, which is my last day for the 30 and 30. But I really want to thank you for coming back every day and watching my videos and commenting. I really appreciate you, and I don't take it for granted. Okay, so come back again tomorrow, and until then, keep on building well. Bye.